In the first of the Tullamore Quarter Offaly Senior Football Championship semi-finals played at Bordamona O'Connor Park, it was Ferbane facing off against Clara, renewing a rivalry for the second year running in a semi-final. Clara with a late Scott Brady goal to win by the minimum of 1 point in last year's semi-final, facing off against the Ferbane side with notions of getting to their second final in 3 years. It was Clara though who would open the scoring with Thomas Deehan from 45 metres, curling over a lovely effort and an opening free played with the breeze in that first half. Clara continued to lay down an early marker as a Jack Cullinan wayward kick was just overturned by Clara, and they eventually got the ball in to that full forward line where Graham Guilfoyle was shown well in front. He caught the ball in front of his marker, mid space, turned back onto his right and curled a high effort over the bar. Clara had been keen to make use of that breeze early in the game as they looked to foray up into the Ferbane half at will as the time, and they got another beautiful score from the wing, this time popping over off the left hand foot. Ferbane were slow to get into the game, but to continue to try and win the ball around the middle of the field. A high ball coming into their full forward, and they were looking for Ronan Maguire and Keane Johnson inside. This time it was Maguire who played in Johnson back onto the left, and he dinked over the bar for Ferbane's opening score after 16 minutes. Ferbane, buoyed by that early Johnson score, looked to Joe Maher from the left boot from the freeze, but Maher dropped that one short. Ferbane though eventually got the goal. It was blasted to the back of the net, and with that Ferbane was soon off the mark. Clara though didn't seem to panic late in that first half, and they still relied on Tommy Deehan from place balls. He was kicking assuredly and got another good effort, much like his first effort, from about 45 metres. Ferbane continued to grow into the game, but Clara were equally working hard and were overturning a lot of ball, using all their experience as Ross Brady set up Graham Guilfoyle, and Guilfoyle fired a superb goal, an unstoppable shot by Jack Cullinan into the left corner. Ferbane though looked to their two corner forwards in inspired form, and Ronan Maguire this time just slipped in by his man and got the ball over the bar. A nice fisted effort after some good work by Keane Johnson. Clara though continued to maintain their early momentum, and they looked to finish the half that bit stronger, with Deehan once again proven unerring with his accuracy from place balls and curled over another lovely effort out of the hand. Cullinan had the last action of the half as he kicked out a long range ball, but it was with that the half-time whistle blew, and it was Ferbane who went in with a 3-point lead, a goal and 5 to Ferbane's 1-2. Ferbane looked though with the win to start off that half a bit quicker, and Joe Maher with a little 1-2 with Ronan Maguire, and Maher from a narrow angle just curled over off his left foot. Ferbane soon started to grow into the game and started to stretch their legs a small bit as they tried to work off a number of scores. Keane Johnson coming more influential into the game, and he clipped over a fine effort off his left foot as quick as a flash. Clara though continued to maintain the advantage throughout as they looked to see off this Ferbane challenge. For Clara were outsiders coming into this game, but they still looked a better team for large parts of the game. Ferbane though were intent on stretching the legs, and it was Kyle Higgins this time let in a ball into that square. Clara couldn't overly deal with it, and Keane Johnson was there to just work a superb effort under pressure. Johnson not giving up off the scraps. Aidan Keenan, who came in following an injury to one of the Ferbane players, he turned provider this time in as far as Ronan Maguire. And Maguire, when he was getting the service, both him and Johnson looked lethal in form in both corners. Leon Fox was a towering presence in that half-back line for Ferbane. He burst up the field and got a huge effort off his left foot, curling over the bar. He took a big hit after the ball, Fox, but Fox was equal to the task and came back to the fore for Ferbane. Graham Guilfoyle had been busy the other end for Clara, and this time he turned provider out as far as Josh Fleming. Fleming onto the left foot, curled over, a good effort to level the match once again with about 14 minutes to go. Ferbane though continued to go on the attack. They were showing the better up front, particularly both Johnson and, as we said earlier, Maguire. This time Johnson cut in along the end line. He was under pressure from two Clara defenders, but Johnson showed great guile and just tapped that ball over the bar. Once again though, Clara responded with Matt Mitchell bombing up the field. He took a second pass, turn provider back as far as Fleming. Fleming looked to shoot but couldn't get his shot away, but eventually worked it in to a score to Luke Dignam, and Dignam made no mistake and aided by the crossbar got a score for Clara. The game was still finely poised at 1-8 apiece coming into the closing stages as Clara continued to work the ball forward at will. A good open game end to end, and it was this time it looked to be Clara's turn to go ahead, and it looked like they might see out a win with a minute to go. But following that double injury to both Jack Egan and Shane Nally, who both sustained leg breaks, a large amount of additional time was played, and Keane Johnson continued to poke holes in the fence. A brilliant ball into Maguire, and Maguire selfishly across the face of the goal, and that man Oisin Kelly was on the edge of the box to fist that ball into the back of net and give Ferbane a first lead in the match. It was Ferbane who continued to look to drive home that advantage, and once again it was Oisin Kelly who came through, this time up to the fist the ball over the bar, and Kelly was looking to storm into the game in the closing moments when it mattered. As the game wore on deep into injury time, there looked to be only one winner, and Kelly, following his little cameo, burst out to Leon Fox. A nice fisted pass to Fox, and Fox bombed up from the half back line and made no mistake once again as Ferbane firmly took control of the match. And with that, the defining moment of the game came a high ball in over the top to Oisin Kelly. Kelly looked like he was going to play in Aidan Keenan, but saw the dummy and went beyond Joey Deehan and slid the ball into the bottom corner. And with that, Ferbane was going to make it back into the final for the second time in 3 years. So Ferbane might have been slow to get into the game, and for large parts it looked like Clara might win that match, with a strong finish and then 2 goals from Oisin Kelly and a strong Ferbane performance led by Leon Fox at the back. Ferbane got into the final on a scoreline of Ferbane 3-10, Clara a goal and 10.